Good morning and welcome to the day, and say hello to the GoPro Hero 5 Black. I'm currently running this in the linear mode, so it's not hugely wide angle. I'm not using Pro Tune or anything, but I do have image stabilization turned on. I'm still using the auto audio settings, so it should switch back and forth between the stereo settings and the wind canceling settings as needed. But we are gonna try our best to do today's vlog entirely using the GoPro Hero 5 Black. That does mean that the audio quality is not gonna be amazing. It does also mean that the low light capabilities are gonna be kind of not great, but I thought I would give it the old college try. I thought we would just see how it goes. I have gone ahead, as you might expect, and done the unboxing video. I've got it here on this card, and I've done some quick sample comparison clips going back and forth between the GoPro Hero 5 Black and the Hero 4 Session. So I've been working on that a bit this morning, as well as doing day job type stuff, because there's always loads and loads of day job stuff to do. I don't know what it is, but something about the size of this camera, I just kind of love having a much smaller camera. And because it is an action camera and it has a wider angle lens, I know that I can hold it a little bit closer to me and not have to worry so much about the framing. Just keep that pointed at this and we'll be okay. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start taking a look at some of this footage, taking a look at some of the footage of the unboxing, and also getting some lunch because it's almost noon. And you know what, I just finished doing the video for the GoPro, the unboxing. The audio quality is definitely much better than the Session, but there's a lot of hiss, there's a lot of background noise to it, so it's not perfect. However, as I was finishing up the video, USPS showed up, so I thought I would unbox things on camera for you. Sorry for noise. The funny thing is, the irony of this, the very first thing that I'm unboxing is a new unboxing knife. And I did not realize it was going to be quite so duck stuff. It did say Duck Commander on there, but this is the smallest knife that Kershaw makes. The one I was using previously is actually a Christmas present I got from my in-laws, and it is, since they purchased it for me, since they gave it to me for Christmas, it has been insanely dull. I think I've tried sharpening it and it just didn't really help all that much. This one is supposed to be extraordinarily sharp out of the box, and it is supposed to maintain sharpness, so we're gonna give it a shot. And plus it's Kershaw, so it's got this speed safe opening mechanism. I'm gonna have to use a knife to open a knife. Luckily this knife is not terribly sharp. Wow, that was a lot more difficult than it probably should have been, but size-wise, it's definitely a little bit smaller than my existing knife, which is good. Makes it a little easier to fit in the pocket. Sharpness-wise, they say it should be able to shave your hair off of you, but it's definitely not doing that. It doesn't feel extraordinarily sharp. I may have to try to sharpen it. Let's try the closing. Closes pretty easily. And the speed safe opener opens pretty easily. I'm a fan so far. I like the build quality, I like the size. Most importantly, let's open a box with it. And there we go. And actually, yeah, it does cut through a little bit easier than my previous knife. The closing mechanism is kind of weird. You know, so opening, you just kind of flick it like that. But closing, it's a little stiff for now, but once you get it to about here, it stops. So that's interesting. Anyway, I'll try to remember to put a link to that knife down in the description. There were a ridiculous amount of Kershaw knives, and they were all on sale. And that one was less than 20 bucks, so I couldn't say no to it. And actually, this is just dog diapers. I think I've mentioned it before. Our dog is old. Our dog has overnight issue type things and just accidents. So we do tend to keep dog diapers in the house just for that occasion. So anyway, I've been filming for about 3 minutes on this, so I'm gonna go ahead, get this edited. I still haven't had any lunch. I gotta go eat something. Alrighty, a little while later, it's actually already 2 p.m. Food consumed, videos edited, day job work stuff done. Not 100% done, obviously. It'll never be 100%. But I spent some time going over vlog footage from today for so far from this camera, and there's just some weird noises to it. The audio itself it's better, a lot better than the Hero 4 Session. And by that I mean it's significantly louder and it has a slightly better sound to it, but it also has a lot of hiss. It's like they basically just increased the gain a lot. And there's so much handling noise. There's no handling noise when I set it down. So that 3-minute clip I did earlier where I unboxed stuff, that didn't have any background noise to it other than just the hissing. I've tried using just the standard audio. I've tried using the wind cut audio and then the automatic entirely. I've tried turning it to raw audio. Basically all the audio settings that are built in, they all just have this hiss to it. Now the weird thing about this is, Justine did this exact same thing the other day. She took the Hero 5 Black and she walked around with it and used it as her daily vlogging camera for a day, and her audio sounded beautiful. And she didn't say anything about having an external audio source. She didn't have a microphone on her in any place that I could see, so I can only assume that she's using something to correct the audio, because there's a lot of hissing to this. Now, it might make a difference doing it outdoors, because most of the footage I saw from her was outdoors and in the car. So maybe I'll try it in the car here in a little while. I do not have to go out and get Duncan off the bus, so we're not going to be going out and playing Pokemon or anything today because he has to go to the dentist. But I am going to have to go get Ellis here in a little while, so I'll probably, I'll take this along with me when I go to get Ellis, and I'll just see how it sounds in the car. I've been using the linear video mode because I definitely really prefer the way that looks, because I can hold it not at full arms extension, because full arm extension is like this. I can hold it at a comfortable 45-degree bend of my arm and not have a huge amount of weight on there. So I'm definitely liking how close I can hold this to myself and still get good quality video. I just kind of wish the audio were better. And the unfortunate thing is, if the audio cable that I'm buying for this, if it works, you know, it's $7 for 2-pack of the cables. One, I'm going to have to leave the waterproof door open on the side so the USB cable can be plugged in all the time. And two, I'm going to have to use an external source like a lavalier, a lapel mic, or maybe even like use the frame for the GoPro and attach that to a GoPro mount that is the tripod, somehow get to a tripod mount on the other end so that I can mount a microphone to it, or maybe just get like a GoPro to hot shoe. I've got a bunch of adapters. I'm sure I can work this out to have like a proper microphone attached to it. But even then, there's going to be handling noise. It's confusing. Basically, I think the next thing I need to do is attach this camera to my head mount and try to do some RC footage, because I've got a bunch of RC videos I need to work on. Well, unfortunately, I am going to have to go get Ellis from school early, which means dropping everything that I was working on and running out the door. I got a call from the daycare again that he's got a fever again. The strange thing is, it's always the same lady that calls, and it's a lady that's very, very rarely in that room. It's like every time she's in the room, according to her, he's very fussy and he has a fever. Every time. I'm super tempted to go pick him up with a thermometer, because at this point, she didn't say that we have to take him to the doctor to get him checked before bringing him back, but it was like one step before that. Because we have already taken him to the doctor once this week. But he does have to be out of school for a full day, which means a second day this week that I'm not going to be able to get anything done because I'm here alone with a baby. Good times. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit frustrated. It's just the daycare again, you know. But anyway, time to go get in the car. That's the good thing about this little camera, is I can actually take it with me in the car without having a larger thing on me. So good times. And I don't know if you can see him back there in his little mirror or not, but I have gone ahead and picked up the boy. He definitely does feel warm, and he seems pretty lethargic and kind of snotty. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and run him by the urgent care center just to get him checked out. They will probably end up putting him on another antibiotic. He's been on one for his eye, but it's like a gel that you actually put into the eye. Presumably they will put him on some sort of a liquid, but he does have to be fever-free, symptom-free for 24 hours without Tylenol or ibuprofen before they can allow him back into the school, daycare, whatever. Which means that he's gonna be at home with me tomorrow again, apparently. So that's awesome. All right, a little while later, Ellis and I have made it home. He's sitting here munching on a bottle because he hadn't had one since 11 o'clock this morning. I took him to the urgent care center, the urgent treatment place, and they took his temperature. It was like 100.4, so not quite as high as the daycare said it was. I had to guess, when a baby wakes up from a nap, they're kind of warm. But at the same time, we did eventually get in there to see the doctor or the PRN or whatever it was. I think they primarily have like physician's assistants at the urgent treatment places, but either way, person that is qualified to make decisions about this kind of things. She checked him out. She said he's breathing clearly. The fact that he's had the pink eye, and it looks like he may have pink eye in the other eye, or maybe about to have it. He's congested, and apparently he's got ear infections. It's some sort of an upper respiratory infection that is migrating to become an ear infection, so they're putting him on an antibiotic. Just providing you guys with updates. So Christina's going to pick up his antibiotic on her way home with Duncan. Duncan apparently did a really good job with the dentist, so that's awesome. And we will continue on with the day. Unfortunately, Ellis cannot go to daycare tomorrow. We do have a doctor's note to get him back in on Friday, but he can't go tomorrow, which means either I'm going to have to stay here alone with him all day tomorrow again, or Christina's going to do a half day with me, or I don't know what. I'll probably end up alone with him again, but you know, whatever happens, happens. And hooray, we're all home, watching some Stampy. Ellis is just so happy. And hooray, there's a mom. Ooh, and we're doing the quesadillas. We went out to Costco last night, and this was one of the things we picked up. Big old quesadillas with guac and salsa, and how are they? Good stuff. Those were actually surprisingly tasty, and there were a bunch of them, so we got a bunch of them left over for a couple more days. Woo! What?
I said, Dad.
Yeah. So so put the camera on me, Dad. I want to act up. I want to talk. And then there's Duncan. Stepped out back for a second. Looks to be a beautiful sunset out here. Not quite as good as it was the other night, but still, I haven't been sharing enough of these with you guys lately, and fall is like the perfect time of year for them around here. And there's a part of me that really wants to just stay out here and sit out here, but the boys are inside. Duncan's watching Stampy, and Ellis is actually, he just woke up from a nap and had a diaper and is needing some lovin's, so I'm probably gonna go provide those. There we go, much better. I grabbed my boy. We're sitting on the back deck, hanging out, actually listening to church bells now, apparently. Not complaining. It's not cool, it's not cold, it's comfortable. I like it. You like it? I like it. I like it a lot. He likes the camera. See, I want that to give. This camera is actually how I kept him distracted at the doctor's office while she could look in his ears and everything. The rest of the time, you know, checking his lungs and everything, he was perfectly fine. But when she started getting near his ears, he got a little bit tense. So I pulled out the camera and I said, this will take care of him. Turned it on and let him just look through it and play with it. Oh, he loved it. He just loves it. So it's the best. I love cameras. Maybe he'll be a little vlogger someday too. And I'm actually kind of curious. I just switched this over to wide and I'm holding it much closer to my face. Like, it's probably 7 inches away from my face right now. And I wanted to see how much of us, how much of me are in the footage. Yeah. And of course, if we switch it over to super view, I can have this super close to my face and probably get both of us in the film, in the frame, and everything else out here. The super view is ridiculously wide and looks kind of silly, but yeah, it's still there. It's still an option. I just actually read through the auto low light setting on this, and apparently in low light, if you have that turned on, it lowers the frame rate to make it look, well, to make it look cleaner, better. I don't know. I just turned it off, so I'm kind of curious if it made a difference here. And if it did, it might make a difference overall. So I'll just leave it off for now. And actually now I've gone ahead and turned on the Pro Tune stuff, so I've got it limited to 800 ISO, and I've got the audio processing turned up all the way, which means all of the wind and manual whatever, it's all turned on, and it's got automatic gain and stuff. Not a huge fan of that. I kind of would prefer full manual control, but you take what you can get, I suppose. I did leave it in GoPro color instead of flat because I prefer having a little bit of color instead of having to grade in post, but anyway, I'm testing stuff at this point. And Mommy had gone out to Kroger to pick up Ellis's medicine. She's made it back at this point. He's just been reading books and playing toys and having a big old time. It's definitely a lot darker after I changed that setting earlier, but oh well, it'll do. We'll just have to get brighter lights. And skipping right on ahead to the end of the evening, and I just realized since I'm on the GoPro, you probably can't see me right now, so let me move into the kitchen. There we go, much better. The kids are both in bed, Christina's in bed. Unfortunately, Ellis sounds terrible. He's been very congested and he's been coughing a lot, so hopefully the medicine will take effect soon. And to go ahead and sort of wrap up the day as far as the GoPro is concerned, I spent the entire day with image stabilization turned on, so electronic image stabilization. So a little bit of this is going to be kind of skewed by the fact that I've been using stabilization, but in terms of using this camera as an everyday vlogging camera, the kind of camera that I use for this channel, a few points to note here. One, the audio is not very good. I'm gonna try it again whenever I get the adapter in to see if I can make it any better. So maybe we'll discuss it again then, or maybe just include some clips then. Two, low light on this thing. No, it's a no. Part of that is just settings. Part of that is that I don't know enough about the camera yet. I'm sure it does have the ability to go up to 6400 ISO, but it's so grainy that it's just not good footage then. So if you're gonna use it, prepare to use it in normal sort of everyday lighting to outdoor bright lighting. That will be where it works best. And three, actually the battery life on this has been surprisingly good. I've probably filmed 15 or 20 minutes so far, and just checking the camera, it says it's at 72% right now. Now I did the day in a bit of a weird way. I did some of the filming and then I charged it and then I did, so it's probably thrown off by a little bit. So instead of 72% left, it would probably be more like 65, but still, to be able to film an entire daily vlog with half of one battery is still pretty impressive. Would I continue to use this as a daily vlogging camera? If I did, I would have to say I would probably make some changes. One, I would probably take the little side mount thing off the USB-C plate, the cover on the side, just to make it easier to actually attach the USB Type-C cable for both the audio and for charging and potentially even for just pulling the data off, because getting the micro SD card out of the bottom is kind of difficult as well. I would probably also keep it inside of a frame and on a handle or a tripod or something, because hand holding it's not very good. And I would definitely invest in spare batteries or just a USB Type-C cable to a battery so I can just keep it charged just in case. It's very easy to make sure you're in frame. This is working out very well handheld. There are some weird limitations because it is an action camera. It's not really intended to be a full use daily vlogging camera. But I've been going on for entirely too long here. You make your own decisions down in the comment section and let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys as always for watching. Hopefully you had a wonderful day. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you like this video, if you want to see more of me and my family and the other cameras that I test on a regular basis and all the other tech devices that I'm playing with here in my home laboratory before they make videos on the main channel. And we will see you again next time. Bye guys.